Yeah, so right off the bat, in this video, all I see are white and black people. All right, this song is supposed to be about America, and all I see are black and white people. This country is filled up with so many more people than just white and black people. Matter of fact, black people haven't been the largest minority in this country for the last 22 years, since 2000. Yet, they get all this representation and Americanism that these white people get, which I don't understand. So my biggest issue with this is I'm counting like white, black, white, black, white, black, white. Like, does everybody else doesn't matter as far as being American is concerned? I've even been posting this video that they should put in, take a couple of these white people out, take a couple of these black people out, put in some Asian Americans, particularly Asian Americans. All right, the hardest working Americans in this country outside of Latino Americans. Both Latino Americans and Asian Americans are pretty hard working people. All right, they should put out a couple of Asian people, East Asian, South Asian people, put in a couple of Latino people, put in a couple of a mixture of people just to represent what this country is. All right, instead of this constant need over the last 25 years to put in black and white. All right, it's insanely ridiculous. There is a battleship, a U.S. battleship named after at least one Asian American. I believe it's the Chung Hoon, whatever it is. You know, there's the USS Chung Hoon, whatever it is. All right, and then there might be another one named after an Asian American. All right, there are Asian Americans living in these areas, and regardless of whether they do or not, there are Asian Americans in this country who have been here since the 1800s. Since the 1800s, as long as the Irish Americans have been here, longer than the Italian Americans have been here en masse. And the saddest part about this is, over the last 25 years, all right, previous to 2017, from 1995 to 2017, these idiots in the media, and I will call them idiots, propagandists even, because this is not just entertainment, it's not just a music video, it essentially has a social effect. It communicates something to people who watches it. It stereotypes people. All right, this is essentially as much propaganda as anything else could be considered propaganda. And since 2017, the media have actually been just a little bit more inclusive of everybody else. However, that is not a result of them being non-racial. That's a result of SJWs and social media getting on them to tell them to represent everybody else. All right, they have no excuses at this point to not represent everybody else. They used to give 10 million excuses why they won't put an Asian American here, or Indian American here, or Latino American here. But they can't do that anymore because people on social media get to them. All right, and this is why I love social media. This is why I love the SJWs, because it's pretty much fairness for everybody instead of this garbage, right? I've even texted this guy to just include Asian Americans, Indian Americans, Latino Americans. These are the hardest working Americans outside of these bums, these white and black bums. And I'm sorry, I gotta call them out for that. All right, and it's not being racist. These people, over the last 25 years, the whites, the blacks, and the Jews have pretty much monopolized the media since 1995 to 2017. They can't do it anymore because SJWs, and they get called out on, etc., etc. But they monopolized the media. They've used the media as their own personal racial branding machine while just bashing the hell out of everybody else, especially Asian Americans. They went out their way to bash the hell out of everybody else. Bro, Bryson Gray, bro, just start including everybody, okay? Rainbow that up. We don't need to see this black and white, okay? It's no longer, we don't need to see this black and white picture, all right? It's Technicolor at this point. It's Technicolor at this point. It's Technicolor. America is Technicolor at this point, regardless of whether these whites, blacks, or Jews want it or not. They can't have the country. You can't have this quote-unquote bullshit America that you had prior to 2017, from 1995 to 2017. At least prior to 1995, you guys actually depicted Asian Americans as fairly as you guys could. You guys actually did. Even though you gave everybody a small piece of the pie, you actually did divide it up equally between everybody. Even though it's like maybe 10% of the pie, you get prior to 1995. If you guys go back and watch representations like movies with Asian Americans, Latino Americans, etc., they actually did portray them pretty fairly. It was after 1995, from 1995 to 2017, where the blacks, the Jews, and the whites essentially got together and essentially went out the way to bash the hell of every other race and try to use the media as their own propaganda machine. It is a fact. All right, you guys definitely, leave a comment about this in the comments section, because there's a conversation that needs to be had in this country about truly representing everybody and everything. We don't need like a tokenized black person here and there, or in this time, at this time, they tokenize when they say minority means like at least 2 or 3 black people and nobody else, which is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Time to change it.